Hello, my lovely people. I'm out here in the corner of the town center and I want to record this video here with natural light because the weather is actually really good today. So I want to record this quick video here before I continue to where I am going. I think that's a better view. And what I want to say today is, I'm just, as I'm showing you the background where I am, I'm in a corner of a town center background. And I just want to talk to us quickly before I leave this environment. And that is the fact that what is going on, the influx of people coming into the United Kingdom or into diaspora. But I'm talking about UK because that's where I lived and I've lived for so many years. The thing I want to say is some of the shocks that I got or we got when we arrived in UK in the 80s. And one of them is everywhere you go the culture is so different. You have to learn how they behave and how they do things. So one of the biggest shocks obviously was the weather. But apart from that, there are various things I've learned over the years. Initially, they were, sort of shock to me, but as time goes on, I got used to the fact that this is how they live and this is how they say things here. And the first one is, please, when you see an older people, don't start all this auntie or ma or sir. They don't like that. It's not their thing because you have to have a title to actually be called sir. So if you say sir to anybody, they don't like that. Apart from obviously in school, the school children will refer to their male teachers as sir and their female teachers as miss. So whether you're married or not and you're teaching in a school here in the UK, you are miss. That's what they call all their female teachers, regardless of whether you're married or not. So that's something that I have to get used to as well. When you speak to their teachers who are married, you have to say miss. And that's what the children are used to. So that's one thing. And another thing is things like, I'm sorry. It's good to say I'm sorry when you've done something wrong. But our people, when something, for example, you are holding something in your hand and it just fell, and then the next person to you in our culture will say, oh, sorry, or but you don't say sorry here if you're not at fault, if you're not the one that caused the problem, you do not say sorry. They don't. It's not their thing. Only say sorry when you have done something wrong, and if you haven't done anything wrong, even if the person hurt themselves and they are screaming and crying, you don't go there and start saying sorry, because if you say sorry, they will just say to you, no, it's not your fault, you don't have to be sorry, it's not your fault. And then, unless if you think it's your fault, then you can be saying sorry. But if it's not your fault, please don't bother saying sorry to them because it's not their thing. You can just go there and say, oh, are you okay, or whatever, but that's it. But don't say sorry to them. So that's one thing. And the other thing that they don't do here is, each time you see somebody, you say good morning, good afternoon. They don't generally greet. Some of them will greet, but majority will not greet you. They will just walk past. And even if you greet them, because obviously you're coming back from diaspora new and you're used to greeting everybody, you may greet them and they'll just ignore you and walk past. Don't get offended. Obviously it's not a nice thing to do, but that's how they do things here. And another thing is, please and thank you. They appreciate that so much. And our people, sometimes they won't say please or thank you to a younger person, but here it doesn't matter whether you're younger or older. You say please and thank you to people, no matter the age. It can even be a child that is only 5. You have to say please and thank you. And another thing is, when you are maybe you're coming into a shop or somewhere and the door, you have to open the door. You don't just open the door and walk past. You have to when you open the door, before you bang the door, you have to look around to make sure that there's nobody following you. And if there's anybody following you, you just have to hold the door for them and for them to pass before you can now, and they can now hold the door themselves and pass. But if there's nobody, if you look behind, there's nobody following you, you can just go. But if somebody's following you, you have to hold the door for them to, come through. And of course, when they do, you expect them to say thank you. Sometimes you open it for people and they just walk past and they don't like it at all. In fact, they will turn around and say to you, "Oh, thank you very much for holding on that door for me," because they're just telling you what you should have done. So they don't like that at all. And being rude or calling people names and stuff like that. I know some so and so's out there will call you names. They will make some noises when you're walking past or whatever. But when I mean it's like in a workplace, and people who are really educated and know what they're doing. They don't like disrespecting people or saying certain things to people. And another thing is, when you do something wrong, don't even bother begging or pleading for help or asking them to do something for them to be able to leave you, to let you go. No. If you do anything that's against the law, you are going to go in for it, no matter how small that thing is. So just be very careful when you come into the UK. Ask questions. It's not in Nigeria or other parts of the Africa where people can just say sorry when they do something and you just ignore. You say okay and just walk past. Most of the things here you have to, and very simple thing that you think it's not a big deal can be a big deal. So when you come into, I'm talking about UK as I say because that's where I live. So when you come to a country where you are not familiar with, please study the environment, know what they like and what they don't like and how they say things. One of the first shocks I got when I came as well, this is so funny, each time I tell this story, it's so funny, that was in the 80s, see ladies who are just smoking, going around and smoking in the streets. I'm like, oh my goodness. Because where I came from, at that time anyway, the only ladies that smoke, you see them around hotels, and they are the ones, the PRO, I don't want to say the full name. Those are the ones in the hotels that you see them smoke. So when I saw in those years ago, I see these ladies smoking all the time, walking around. I'm like, oh my God, what kind of people are these? Until I got used to it, that actually people just smoke anyhow here. It wasn't very common in Nigeria, where I came from at the time, but obviously now I understand that ladies smoke freely and do these things freely. But it was one of my biggest shocks. So I thought I would just start sharing my little stories with you all, because I know that I can see people are all wanting to jackpot or relocate to UK and other parts of the world, and it's always good to share your own experiences and to let people know what's up in the place where they are going to, so they will understand that. So if you don't get anything today, just get the fact that you don't say sorry for what you have not done, and you don't say sir, ma, auntie to any of them. Just call them by their first name, even if they are in their 80s or 90s. That's how they want it, and you just have to respect that. It was difficult for me to do, and my children as well, but we got used to it, and then that's that. I'm going to stop this one there. There's so many of them that I'm going to be bringing out to you, but I'm going to make them in very short videos. So wait for more things I'm going to share with you. Please share this video so that others who are coming into UK or to other parts of the world, will know the other, what's happening where you are. It will be good to know. So share the video. I'll appreciate that. Goodbye and God bless.